Here is my super simple recipe for sourdough bread, and I'm here to tell you that making this needn't be an ordeal and is quite blissfully entirely mess-free. Okay, to start, take a large mixing bowl and add 475 grams of strong white bread flour. Now add around 10 grams of salt, then 125 grams of sourdough starter. And you can get my sourdough starter recipe, which is perfect for this loaf, by tapping on the link on screen. Next, add 300 milliliters of lukewarm water, making sure it's not too hot because you don't want it to kill off that naturally coaxed yeast that your starters worked so hard to bring alive. Once all these ingredients are added, you need to briefly mix them together with a spatula in the bowl. Don't worry about mixing it too much, and once done, simply place a see-through saucepan lid on top of the bowl. Then leave for 30 minutes. Now, after 30 minutes, remove the lid, then give the mixture another brief mix. Then replace the lid and leave for another 30 minutes. In total, you need to repeat this process 4 times of briefly mixing and leaving for half an hour. And after the 4th time, leave the dough covered overnight for about 12 hours. And after this time, your dough should have started to rise, and now it's time to bake. So preheat your oven to 220 degrees centigrade, which is 430 Fahrenheit. Then add a ramekin of water in the bottom of the oven. Doing this will help give you a lovely golden crust on your loaf. And next, take a bread tin and we're going to line it with some greaseproof or parchment paper. So lay the paper out, place the loaf tin on top, then using a pencil, draw around the base of the tin. Remove the tin, then fold the greaseproof or parchment paper along the lines you've drawn. Next, take a pair of scissors, then cut along the 2 lines at either end that lead into where you drew the 2 shorter base lines. And doing this will make it really easy to fit the greaseproof or parchment paper into the loaf tin. And it will make it super mess-free. And now the next step is to pour your bread dough into the tin. Simply use a spatula to carefully coax the bread dough from the bowl into the tin, being careful to make sure it doesn't spill over the sides. And now simply wait for the oven to preheat, and now the magic can start. So take your loaf and place into the oven on the middle shelf. And you'll need to leave it to bake for around 45 minutes until it's risen and it's turned nice and golden and crisp. Now, after the baking time and when you're happy your loaf is ready, remove it from the oven. Just look at that golden crisp loaf of sourdough bread. Now we need to leave it to cool, but this is going to be piping hot, so really carefully remove it from the loaf tin and leave to cool. And there you have it, that's how to make a completely mess-free, UPF-free and fully homemade delicious sourdough bread loaf with a sourdough starter to kick things off with. And remember, you can learn how to make my sourdough starter by tapping the recipe on screen and subscribe for more culinary indulgences.